Well, the story I'm about to share with you is about a basketball player at the U. It's not a sports story, though, but rather a story about a father who is homeless and the power of influence on his son. Here's tonight's IN report.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, Gary?
Another day, brother.
There aren't a whole lot of places in this world where you will hear so
He's almost a shoo-in for college right now.
Right now.
many stories.
I understand.
Everyone seems to have one, some short, some long, and some
I would have never thought I'd be rooting for Utah. But here I am, and that's my squad. When Utah comes on, that's my team.
simply hard to believe. But the guy sitting in this chair is the reason a barber shop in Los Angeles has even heard of the Utah Utes.
It was the game of the day, shot of the night.
His name is Gary Dubois, and his story is directly connected to Salt Lake City.
Runs it right, takes a three.
That's his boy, wearing jersey number 5.
Jared Dubois.
If you have never heard of Jared Dubois, you will likely remember Dubois launch this.
I heard him say, Mr. Clutch, Mr. Clutch. So I started to believe that I was a player who was supposed to be clutch and it was just supposed to happen.
That is Jared Dubois in the spotlight, and this is Mr. Clutch once the lights have dimmed, pushing a cart in a Salt Lake grocery store full of bread and water, peanut butter and jelly.
Is this the biggest one? Yeah.
And putting them together slice
I don't know about the peanut butter.
by slice.
Smash the bread together.
This is how Sunday mornings begin for the big man on campus, and the way it
Would
ends
you like some water?
Peanut butter and jelly?
You're welcome. Have a good day. Would you like some water? Would you like a sandwich too?
is about as clutch as he gets.
How you doing, youngster?
Oh, I need French for my baby.
You have a baby?
Yes.
How's that possible? You can't duplicate the feeling that someone gives you when you give them the meal that might be their only meal of today, 2 days.
From Pioneer Park to Salt Lake's Skid Row, the homeless are fed, the lonely are heard, and their stories.
Everyone has a story. They want someone to listen to. Everyone wants their feelings or story to be heard.
Leave him grateful for what he's got.
A lot of what I do on a daily basis comes from having my father around. I mean, where I grew up, not many of my friends even had a father.
1, 2, 3. This group is going to run their lap first. We're going to go around the first 2 trees.
His father, Gary, is a middle school phys ed teacher on the outskirts of LA, and he teaches these kids
I can see that now, but you got to give me this on a daily.
the very same life lessons
Slide? What's the purpose of a slide?
he has taught his
Are
own.
you getting better? Are you getting better?
Yeah, but not.
That's all that counts. No, it doesn't matter what they think.
He never really told me how to do certain things or how to be, but I definitely felt that he showed me.
2, 1.
And that statement right there is why this
Give me 5.
will likely not come as a surprise. Once a
Good
month,
morning, how are you this morning?
Gary walks the streets of inner city LA.
You do something for someone else, and eventually it's going to come around, and you're going to receive your blessing.
He will feed the homeless. He will clothe the needy
11, I got 11 halves. Okay.
and offer them
What you
something
listening to? They got Aldi Shore on. He's good, man.
they rarely get to share, and that is a chance
He starts moving me back. I'm like,
to tell their story.
That's usually a day-to-day type of a story. You know, what's going on today, you know, how's the weather.
But like many stories, there is often a twist. In Gary's story
Unfortunately, they said I would had to go.
has an extremely ironic one.
So at that time, I was homeless, and I didn't have an option.
That was 5 years ago, and to this day, Gary is still living out of his car. It's where he eats, it's where he sleeps.
This reclines all the way back,
And despite a few minor interruptions from above,
and my window's usually up. I don't really hear them.
this simple way of life has become his new normal. No longer because he has to,
I had a couple of family members that were having some financial issues.
but simply because, in his mind, it is the right thing to do.
I was sending her a check a month.
Giving money to family and friends so they don't have to live out of their cars.
$2,000 a month that I'm not putting on an apartment. That's a lot of money that can go a lot of different ways, and it can help a lot of other people.
For Gary Dubois, that is the part of his story he often leaves out. Most friends don't know, his students don't know, the people he serves do not know. But the one person
I sometimes forget that he's living in the car.
who has silently watched every chapter play out
My idol, best friend, whatever you want to call it, that was him.
may have been the one person whose story he influenced the most. How about that? Gary said that he had no idea that his son was feeding the homeless here in Utah until he read an article about Jared in the Deseret News. After 5 years of living in a car, though, Gary has saved up enough money to where he is hoping to get into a home by the end of the year.
Isn't that wonderful?
Great story.
You found a great, inspiring story on two fronts.
It is. So good for him, and best of luck to both he and his
Yeah.
son, and we'll continue and follow them, see where they go.